Many communities across the country are concerned about lead in water supplies. But in Philadelphia, some parents are worried about what's in the ground. They're convinced high levels of lead in soil put their children at risk for irreversible brain damage. The Philadelphia Inquirer and Daily News recently tested more than 100 parks, playgrounds, and backyards in the city's river wards. Nearly 75% of the areas tested had hazardous levels of lead. Jericka Duncan spoke with one family demanding solutions. Jericka, good morning.
Good morning. Construction projects in what's known as the river ward section are on the rise. Now, some parents worry that when construction crews don't follow dust regulations, hazardous lead particles could end up in places where children play.
She gets frustrated really easily. And, that could be every 3-year-old, or it could be as a result of that elevated lead. You just won't know.
There's not a day that goes by that Jana Curtis and her husband, Bill Pace, don't look at their 3-year-old daughter, Nolan, and wonder whether she'll have lifelong damage from lead. In 2015, her parents found out she had a blood lead level of 14. That's almost 3 times the level the CDC says is cause for concern.
What was your initial reaction when you heard that?
Heartbroken, really. You do so much to protect your kids. And then to realize that that you failed in that is terrifying.
Exposure to abnormally high levels of lead can cause developmental delays. At 1.5, Nolan spoke only 2 words. Her parents quickly enrolled her in speech therapy.
As you did the research and you found out more what this means for your daughter,
I actually got more scared the more I read about it.
The family found out their backyard soil had elevated levels of lead only after the Environmental Protection Agency went door to door to test homes for lead, including its soil. For the past several years, the EPA has been doing that type of testing in this neighborhood because the area was once home to at least 14 chemical plants that released lead waste.
Our soil sample came back at over 1,100.
Over 1,100?
Yeah, which is close to 3 times the limit for play spaces for kids.
Recent town hall meetings have been packed with parents of small children who are concerned about the various ways lead can spread. Reporter Wendy Ruderman worked on the Philadelphia Inquirer Daily News investigation. She says unregulated construction sites may be contributing to the problem.
We found lots of sites with just giant heaping piles of dirt left uncovered, blowing in the wind.
Even if people have low levels of lead,
Dr. Thomas Farley is Philadelphia's health commissioner.
The most important thing is to be wetting the material so the dust isn't generated when they demolish the houses.
Have the contractors been doing that?
We know that the contractors are not following those recommendations now, or those requirements now.
After the interview, a spokeswoman for the city said parks and rec facilities near a construction site will now be hosed down several times a week. Signs will be posted at all parks and rec facility sites reminding kids to wash their hands. And contractors have been sent letters reminding them of the city's air management quality laws. But Dr. Farley says lead levels in children outside of the river wards area are even higher.
We think that the primary source of exposure for lead in children today is the interior paint.
Nationwide, the CDC reports that lead paint may account for up to 70% of the elevated lead levels.
There may very well be some contribution from soil. But that doesn't appear to be the major source.
But any source, says father of 3 Bill Pace, is worthy of the city's attention.
If you really want to eradicate lead poisoning in the kids in the city, you have to take away 100%, not 70. And to ignore the 30%, I think, is a huge mistake.
Nolan's parents replaced the topsoil and now mop twice a day to avoid further exposure. Nolan's blood level is now at a 4, and she's taking iron supplements. Her parents say she is doing better, but they're still worried. Bottom line, there are unsafe levels of soil in many urban neighborhoods across the country. Doctors say knowing about the risks and testing your children early are the best ways to prevent lead poisoning.
Thanks.
A lot of good information there. Thank you, Jericka.